Good afternoon, everyone. Will you please take your seats? Good afternoon. Thanks. I'm Tricia Serio, and I'm the Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. And I'm delighted to welcome you to the Elaine Marieb College of Nursing dedication ceremony. We begin today with the university's land acknowledgement. The University of Massachusetts Amherst acknowledges that it was founded and built on the unceded homelands of the Pocumtuck Nation on the land of the Norotuk community. We begin with gratitude for nearby waters and lands. We recognize these lands and waters as important relations with which we are all interconnected and depend on to sustain life and well-being. The Pocumtuck had connections with these lands for millennia. Over 400 years of colonization, when Pocumtuck peoples were displaced, many joined their Algonquin relatives to the east, south, west, and north. That includes Mashpee and Aquina, Wampanoag, Nipmuc, Narragansett, Mohegan, Pequot, Mohican communities, and Abenaki and other nations of the Wabanaki Confederacy. These native peoples still maintain connections and relationships of care for these lands today. We also acknowledge that the University of Massachusetts Amherst is a land-grant university. As part of the Morrill Land Grant Act, portions of land from 82 Native nations west of the Mississippi were sold to provide the resources to found and build this university. As an active first step toward decolonization, we encourage you to learn more about the Native nations whose homelands UMass Amherst now resides on, and the indigenous homelands on which you live and work. We also invite you to deepen your relationship to these living lands and waters. Thank you. I've spent some time recently learning about Elaine Marieb, a woman whose legacy lives on in the many students who learned from her textbooks and benefited from her generosity. For instance, did you know that Elaine Marieb grew up on a farm right here in the Pioneer Valley? Or that she received a PhD in zoology? How about that she spent some time as a jazz singer? Although these facts were new to me, Elaine's passion for life, giving, and learning was not. We're here today to celebrate Dr. Elaine Marieb for her generous gift to the university. It's fitting that Elaine Marieb's name and legacy be forever attached to the College of Nursing. We can proudly say that the Elaine Marieb College of Nursing at UMass Amherst was the first in the state to offer a Doctor of Nursing practice. Program, and was among the first to offer a publicly supported PhD program. Both our Master's in Nursing program and our Doctor of Nursing practice offer numerous specialties that prepare our students to excel in their careers. At the undergraduate level, the Marieb College of Nursing offers a traditional baccalaureate program, an accelerated Bachelor of Science program for non-nursing degree holders, and an online RN to BSN pathway. Our pre-licensure students have maintained high levels of success on their licensing exams, even during the pandemic, and have taken on leadership roles early in their careers. Impressive, and yet not surprising for the college that now bears Dr. Marieb's name. Please help me welcome our first speaker, Chancellor Kumble Subbaswamy, or Swami as he is known. He became the 30th leader of the University of Massachusetts in 2012. A physicist by training and an elected fellow of the American Physical Society, Swami has spent almost his entire professional life at public research universities. As chancellor, he is known for his pursuit of academic excellence, promotion of research and outreach, and initiatives aimed at addressing campus climate, diversity, and culture. He has overseen the opening of new cutting-edge academic, student, and athletic facilities, including the Student Union, the Business Innovation Hub at the Eisenberg School of Management, and the new Worcester Commons. He has made sustainability a campus priority, as demonstrated by our commitment to being a carbon zero campus by 2032. And he is focused on strengthening community relations, supporting area communities, and increasing access to the university's rich academic and research resources. He's also led the campus through the challenges of the COVID-19 pandemic with his usual steady hand, grace under pressure, and compassion for others. It's my pleasure to now invite Chancellor Subbaswamy to the podium.
Thank you, Tricia, for those kind words. Good afternoon. Thanks, everyone, for joining us on this really, really happy occasion. It's wonderful to see all of you here as we officially name the Elaine Marieb College of Nursing. I would like to extend a warm UMass welcome to our distinguished guests. From the Elaine Marieb Charitable Foundation, we welcome the chair of the board, Martin Wasmer, and Libby McHugh. Libby and welcome. Also joining us this afternoon is Secretary of Health and Human Services for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Mary Lou Sutters. Hi, Mary. Representative Mindy Daum. Chairman of the Healthcare Finance Committee in the Legislature, Representative John Lawn. John is right there. And then we have Executive Director of the University of Massachusetts Building Authority, Barbara Kroenke. She's not here. Senator Jo Comerford was here earlier, and she had to leave, unfortunately, but we'll see her again tomorrow. Yes, she deserves an applause. We're also excited to welcome Dr. Lynette Watkins, CEO and President of Cooley Dickinson Hospital. Where are you, Lynette? Yeah, right there. And I don't recall seeing him earlier, but I understand Mark Kerouac, President and CEO of Bay State, was supposed to be here, certainly. And then our Power alumni couple, Michael and Terry Halucci, also strong supporters of the College of Nursing and Engineering. So thanks again for being here as we celebrate the life and legacy of alumna Dr. Elaine Marieb. A native of the Pioneer Valley, Dr. Marieb was an accomplished textbook author, educator, and philanthropist who embraced the transformative power of education. As a two-time alumna, she earned a PhD in zoology from the College of Natural Sciences in 1969, and in 1985, a master's in nursing with a specialization in gerontology. She also held degrees from Holyoke Community College, Fitchburg State College, Mount Holyoke College, and Westfield State College. She had a lot of degrees, it's true, I verified. One does not need to have personally known Dr. Marieb to understand her commitment to education and her deeply giving nature. We only need to consider the list of substantial philanthropic investments she made throughout her lifetime, including gifts to the Florida Gulf Coast University, Holyoke Community College, and of course, our campus. Over the years, Dr. Marieb contributed more than $2 million in campus-wide scholarships, a notable level of generosity in and of itself. Then last year, Dr. Marieb's foundation bestowed $21.5 million to the university, the largest cash gift to date in our nearly 160-year history. This momentous philanthropic event set the university off on a pioneering path in the discipline of nursing. And I would like to once again acknowledge those members of the Marieb Foundation who join us today, Chair Martin Wasmer and Libby McHugh. Thank you for your exceptional stewardship of Dr. Marieb's legacy and vision. Thank you. This transformative gift will advance our Center for Nursing and Engineering Innovation, provide support for student scholarships and an endowed professorship, and fund mentorship and research initiatives designed to further access, equity, and excellence in nursing education. Elaine Marieb lived her values. Through her teaching, textbooks, and philanthropy, she sought to ensure the transformative power of education touched as many lives as possible. Today, with the naming of the Elaine Marieb College of Nursing, her reach grows exponentially as all students who pass through these doors will learn and practice under her name. Thank you, and go UMass.
Thank you, Chancellor. It's now my pleasure to introduce Marty Meehan, President of the University of Massachusetts. Under his leadership, support, and advocacy, the University of Massachusetts system has achieved new heights and historic milestones. President Meehan has proved to be committed to diversity, equity, and inclusion issues and focused on sustainability across the UMass system. Over the course of his tenure, UMass has set records in enrollment, research expenditures, financial aid funding, and economic impact. Please welcome President Marty Meehan.
Thank you very much. I'm delighted to be here, and I want to thank each and every one of you, particularly the heads of the foundation that have been already recognized. I'm delighted to join all of you. Great to see Commissioner Mary Lou Sutter's here, and I want to acknowledge what a great job she has done as the secretary, but also acknowledge the Baker administration. They have been great to UMass Amherst over the years, particularly with the latest commitment of $75 million for a new computer science program. So we're very appreciative of that. I want to also acknowledge the outstanding legislative delegation that we have here, and you'll hear from a number of them. And of course, today I want to recognize the immense contribution of Elaine Marieb to nursing education and to the nursing profession. It's estimated that her textbooks have been read by more than 3 million nurses and healthcare professionals practicing today. And today, with the naming of this world-class College of Nursing, we celebrate the Elaine Marieb Charitable Foundation's transformational gift to the college. This gift is a powerful statement of the trust and the leadership here at UMass Amherst and this college, a statement of belief in the excellence of the faculty and staff, and above all, a recognition that UMass students deserve first-rate programs and facilities. You know, it's interesting, during the pandemic, people have come to understand the essential role that nurses and nursing leaders perform on the front lines of our healthcare delivery system. We came to understand as never before how complex and challenging the job is. Frankly, in the last 20 years, I haven't read one study about the quality of healthcare in this country where nursing isn't listed as the #1 factor in the quality of healthcare in this country. And we all know without a doubt, and that's true. And I think we all know without a doubt how important nurses will be to the future of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. But we also know that the Commonwealth, and in fact the nation, have been dealing with a nursing shortage for years. There are more than 5,000 job vacancies for registered nurses in Massachusetts alone. COVID-19 challenges have exacerbated this trend, which means that we need to be laser-focused on educating the next generation of nurses. While the development of the nursing workforce is a very high priority for all of us, I think today it's also important to celebrate the impactful scholarly research being conducted here. It's not just that we're creating nurses. It's this research is informing innovation throughout the healthcare system, modernizing how nurses are educating, improving the technology, making healthcare more equitable, and ultimately improving patient outcomes. We will need to attract, retain, and graduate high-quality, diverse cohorts of students and continue to attract top-notch faculty. Let me say a few words about my friend and colleague, Chancellor Subaswamy, who I've gotten to know well over the last 10 years, both as a colleague when I was a chancellor at UMass Lowell, but also as a system head. I can't believe, and I just took a long walk around this campus, of the progress that's been made here over the last 10 years. You know the quality of a leader on a campus when you walk the campus with him, and students and faculty and staff all acknowledge him. I am very disappointed that Swamy has decided to leave. If you guys want to help me out, I'm still trying to get another year out of him. If there's any way, now, let's not tell his wife about this campaign, though. But I just want to say that by any metric that you would evaluate a university, under Chancellor Subaswamy's leadership, UMass Amherst has gone up and up and up. And it's not just the metrics, it's the way he goes about doing his job. He's just an incredible, incredible person. And Swamy, it's been a pleasure to work with you, and I've learned a lot from you. And thank you for what you've done here, because what you've done here, we're going to still feel the impact of it in 50 years, in 75 years, and yes, in 100 years. Thank you.
Thank you, President Meehan. Our next speaker, Mary Lou Sutters, is the Secretary of Health and Human Services for the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. She oversees 12 state agencies and the Mass Health Program. Since joining Governor Baker's cabinet in 2015, Secretary Sutters has advanced policy in human services, including restructuring Mass Health, reforming the child welfare system, combating the opioid epidemic, and strengthening community-based services. In addition to her administrative responsibilities, she has served as a point person for the Baker administration for the COVID-19 response for the whole Commonwealth. Please join me in welcoming Secretary Mary Lou Sutters to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I'll join the Keep Swamy campaign. I don't know about the rest of you. Thank you for that kind introduction. True pleasure to be with you. So point person is otherwise known as lightning rod, just in case anybody wants to know what that really means for the past several years. But you know, I have some written remarks, but I want to talk from the heart for a moment about the importance of nursing. So I'm a social worker, so I am thrilled to be I'm thrilled to be here because there is so much in common between social work and nursing. Often when we go to school, either to become a nurse or a social worker, we're seen in a limited role as our clinical role. But and there's not often significant gifts, philanthropy for social work or nursing schools. And so let me try to reframe this a little bit about why this gift is so, in my mind, extraordinarily important here today. So again, my staff have written me wonderful notes, but I really want to, and it's shaped by 2.5 years of COVID, I'm sure. This gift is transformative. It puts nursing on the map. It's not just about educating or making the next nurse to work on a clinical floor, although that in and of itself is very honorable and very important, as you heard from the president. But it offers the profession the centrality and respect in the medical profession, not just sitting at the bedside, but being part of leadership. Because quite frankly, who knows what products work better than the nurse at the bedside? And who, when products are designed and being designed, and this gift of really bringing together that interdisciplinary work of nursing and engineering. But if you think about it, right, who knows what works better than the nurse, and should be at the product development stage, not at the end stage of testing it. Nursing, like social work, are core to medical care, and they are core to the future of our healthcare system when it comes to leadership, from my perspective. And that is why this gift is so transformative. I want to thank the president, the provost, Swami, and the dean for inviting me to here today, because nursing education goes, as I said, beyond medicine. Colleges of nursing teach empathy, compassion, patience in the service of others, and with this gift, leadership and really strengthening interpersonal collaboration. The foundation's gift, as I said, really is the future and that next generation. UMass Amherst will usher in a new era of nursing education and interdisciplinary collaboration. So this partnership, the innovation, is really about the future. I also want to give a little bit of a shout out. I couldn't not, any talk I give has to come back to COVID, of course. Someday it won't, I'm sure. And I'm sure all of you are as fatigued as I am by that. But I also want to give a shout out to UMass Amherst. And if you can just bear with me for a second. The college has been, the university has been a tremendous partner to the Commonwealth since the very, very earliest days of the early dark days of COVID. Always stepping up to the plate whenever I called Swami or the president about something we needed in the Commonwealth. I've seen it up close, UMass's dedication to public service, and I owe you a particular debt of gratitude for your support throughout the pandemic. In March 2020, when our collective and individual lives ground to a halt, no person unscathed, many devastated by the loss of loved ones or economic security, this entire campus went dark, of course, as did all of us. As the person at the epicenter of the state's pandemic response, I'm grateful to UMass Amherst, and particularly the students in the College of Nursing and their teachers for stepping up immediately, taking action, and showing a commitment to the health and safety not only of the university community, but of the Massachusetts residents. Okay. So, you've administered almost 1 million COVID tests, including 86,000 tests for the broader community, 48,000 vaccines and counting, and the nursing students were the primary workforce for the UMass Vax Lab. Frankly, that's almost unique among any other university in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, and you heard it from me, and I know. Not only did it give the nurses real-world experience, impactful experience, by entrusting you with vaccine and administration, it also contributed to some of your graduations and licensure requirements. And again, I want to give a shout out to UMass Amherst. No one likes poop more than me these days, and some of you know what that means. So in 2020, of course, we worked together to quickly ramp up the in-state COVID testing capacity, including the rapid response, the COVID response community center, devoting $5 million investment to, I can't even read my own notes, to the UMass lab for the PCR testing. But more importantly, partnering with the UMass Amherst wastewater lab to develop a COVID wastewater surveillance program, which is the future of not just for COVID, but also for any emerging diseases that can come our way. And that is the commitment of this university. But today, it's about nursing. And to the nursing students who are out there, I want you to see this, your degree, your education, as just a stepping stone to leadership, because you will leave here under the Marieb School of Nursing as the future leaders of medical care. Thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you, Secretary Sutters. It's now my pleasure to introduce Alison Vorderstrass, who serves as the Dean of the Elaine Marieb College of Nursing. Dean Vorderstrass came to UMass Amherst from New York University's Rory Myers College of Nursing, where she was a faculty member and director of the Florence Downs PhD programming in nursing research. Dean Vorderstrass's professional honors include the Duke University School of Nursing's Distinguished Teaching Award, the International Society of Nurses and Genetics Founders Award for Excellence in Genomic Nursing Research, and being inducted as a Fellow of the American Academy of Nursing. Please join me in welcoming Dean Alison Vorderstrass.
you very much, Provost Serio. Thank you, Secretary Sutters, first of all, for your support of our campus, our communities, and the public health nursing work that we have engaged in. And thank you, President Meehan and Chancellor Subaswamy, not only for your remarks, but I want to thank you personally for your leadership and support of the university and the College of Nursing. I'm thrilled to have this opportunity to recognize the significance and impact of the naming of our college today as the Elaine Marieb College of Nursing. I speak for the college faculty, staff, and students when I say that we are humbled and honored to formally recognize Dr. Elaine Marieb's legacy and the work we continue in her name. Dr. Marieb was a consummate lifelong learner and tremendous educator. She was also an innovator, not only in terms of her approach to developing educational publications in the sciences, but in her confidence and initiative in moving into authorship and editing of world best-selling texts in human anatomy and physiology. When she noted the deficits she saw as an educator in the available materials, the publishers asked her whether she could do better. Her answer is what we all strive for and hope to say when asked the same question in relationship to the many challenges we all face. Yes, I can. While not a traditional career path for those who enter into nursing, she embraced this as an outlet for scholarship, education of further generations of nurses, healthcare providers, and scientists, and an inspiration for those to come. Dr. Marieb is a clear example of what we mean when we talk to students, potential students, fellow nurses, about the countless opportunities for career paths within the nursing profession. While most may think of nursing care of patients in hospitals as the default and perhaps only option, nurses are in many places that Elaine saw as possible and important. And her friends and colleagues at the Marieb Charitable Foundation saw us here at UMass as catalysts to keep that momentum going. The first conversation we had was about the concept of a nursing engineering center, originally seeded by support from our own UMass nursing and engineering alumni, Mike and Terry Halucci, who I know I saw, but we'll give a wave. Through this transformational gift, Dr. Marieb continues to inspire us all to pursue new roads and make innovative and impactful contributions to the profession, to healthcare at large, our communities, and beyond. As a matter of fact, my own decision to pursue nursing as an undergraduate was solidified by my love of anatomy, and I'm sure the list of people she has inspired in related careers over the decades is endless. I would also like to take this opportunity to thank our college, university, and the broader community for their collaboration, support, and inspiration. Prior college leaders, Deans Eileen Breslin and Ann Sheridan, who I knew I saw, and Melanie Dreyer, who also led the college during transitional periods but was unable to join us here today. You all led the college through transitions from a school to a college and to the building of our own that we celebrate at today. And also to our alumni, faculty, and staff who knew Elaine, including Pam Atchison and Dr. Mary K. Alexander, who I know I also saw, and of course our Executive Director of Development, Olivia Frazier. You have all moved the college in positive directions over many years to bring us to this moment. Many of you are also our alumni or regional leaders who have served on our alumni and advisory boards, and your presence is just one of many signs of your longstanding and visible support. We are so happy to welcome our clinical partners as well to join in this celebration, and we greatly appreciate their engagement in our students' experiences in our neighboring health systems, Cooley-Dickinson and Bay State in particular, as well as our many community partners. Our college is small in numbers as compared to others on this campus, but we have had a significant and very large impact, as Secretary Sutters mentioned, on our campus and broader community. And anecdotally, if you haven't heard this yet, our students are known for being one of the loudest cheering sections at commencement each year. To our students with us here today, this celebration is for you. A primary reason we all come here every day is to provide